What's up everybody, welcome back to this mini. I'm in my shop today. Been trying to think of a video to give y'all guys. Parts acquisition due to the inflation is, understandably a little bit harder right now, as, a lot of people are having to buckle down and tighten their waistbands right now. But, luckily I do have some, partially completed or already started projects that are laying around that I can finish and show y'all. So today, as the title of the video suggests, I'm going to be finishing the small vaccuformer upgrade, the last upgrade, which is removing the pegboard and attaching corrugated metal, corrugated sheet steel, which should improve the vaccuformer's performance. And then after that, because that only should take a minute, after that we are going to, I have some vaccuform molds of basically Galactic Marine or Kashyyyk Scout Trooper knee pads. They're the thing I modeled and tested on this vaccuformer to see if I could get it working, and they did work on this one. So I have two completed molds of that I did in the past, and they're ready to be painted, strapped up, and they're going to become a finished piece of my airsoft armor. So that's that's the second thing we're doing today after this short part, is we're going to be finishing a piece of my airsoft armor. So, all right, this shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna get ready and get to grinding. That's the first thing I gotta do, is since I wood glued the pegboard on, probably not gonna be able to take it off by any means of force. So I'm going to basically grind off the edges where the glue is and then let the centerpiece fall out. I'm pretty seasoned on my grinder now, so I don't really have any worries that I won't be able to do it accurately. But, knock on wood. But all right, let's get started. That's done. Messy, but done. All right, looks good. Let's see about this over here. I already cut out the metal. I didn't shoot a lot of stuff that is going to be on this video today because I wasn't really planning for this stuff to be into a video, but I realized this is the only thing I can turn into a video right now, and I want to give y'all something to watch. So this is a piece of sheet metal. I cut it out from that larger piece over there that I got from, I think it was metaldepot.com. Love that place, gonna be using it a lot now. But anyway, this is a corrugated metal sheet, and while I was grinding I had some time to think about it, and I realized, sorry Luna, I realized I'm gonna attach this thing, but honestly I might just staple this thing on here through the holes. I was planning to come inside and use super glue, but now that I look at it, I'm like, well, why not just staple it down? I don't really see an issue with that. So I think I'm going to do that, because while I was grinding, I realized this is a lot of work to get this thing back off. What if I need to maintenance this thing again? So the idea was I'll just super glue it on, and that way it'll be easy to pry off if I have to maintenance it again. And you might be saying, well, if you staple it on, won't it be hard to get off? Not really. If I just have a few staples strategically placed around, it's not going to be that hard to get off if I need to in the future. I'd have to grind the tops of the staples off, but again, that's not hard. That would be very little amount of grinding, and would probably work a lot better than super glue in this situation, and it'll be very quick. So I'm going to go back outside now. All right, here we go. All right. Now this should be quick enough that I really don't even need to put y'all on a time lapse. Before I do it, I'll just, double check how this works. Ooh, there's still a piece of plastic in here. Oh, I never took it out. Yeah. That'll work fine. Might need to seal up the edge with some dry nuts. once it's attached, but that wouldn't, you know, some wood filler, but that wouldn't be much of an issue. All right. Let's get things pumping. By that, I mean air. Whoa. Here comes the sound. All right. It really doesn't have to be that much pressure to do this. It's not, it's, you know, only a few nails. But I do have to line up my shots well. Yeah, this is a tricky part. I gotta be pretty precise with where I'm aiming. Ah, it's a little off. That was more than a little off. It did a loopy. Still got through, but let's see. Hold up. Just nip that. Well, that creates an interesting look, but shouldn't really affect the performance. I'll have to take a mallet here and there we go. All right. Now that one was perfect. All right, now we're getting it. Oh, two more successful ones, and we're good. Hey. Hey, alrighty. Beautiful. Took a little longer than I wanted it to. How long are we at? Ooh, that took 10 minutes, lordy. Said I wasn't gonna time-lapse that, but things end up usually taking longer than I think they do. Not much. Yeah, that's really not much. I made it pretty exact. Let's just do the dry decks. All right. Several approaches to the same goal. Just got to figure out which one I want to do. I suppose I should show y'all the hold it up for you so you can see. That might be a good idea. All right. Well, there it is. All right, so the last two steps, I'm gonna dry dex the edge, help seal it up, and then I'm gonna, after that's dry, which that doesn't take too long with the mount that I'm gonna use for this, but after that's dry, I'll put a layer of, I'll put the same foam edging around the top to help seal that as well. So, all right, dry dex. All right. Ooh. There you go. So yeah. Over here. So this stuff is wood filler, type of wood filler. Luckily, so really, you know, as I said, I don't want a super strong, permanent, crazy bond. So I'm just gonna go around the edge here and kind of coax this into the cracks by hand. This stuff sands really easily once it's dry. And you know, this thing is not ever really going to endure any sort of substantial pressure or stress, so I really am not worried about it. You know, I'm really not worried about the top becoming detached. It's not like I'm pounding on this thing or, you know, doing anything, putting any sort of serious stress on this. So yeah, this dry deck should do fine. It's, I mean, from y'all's angle, you probably can't see it, but I guess let me grab the camera and see if I can get a good shot of this. Let me see what I can do for you. So, woohoo! I don't want that to drop on the floor. Let's be careful. So, this is the seam without dry decks in it. Guess it's not going to want to focus really well. But yeah, that's the crack, the seam between the steel and the wood without dry decks. And that's the seam with it. You can see it's nice and filled in. And I did that entire edge in, you know, literally whatever, 15 seconds of talking, so. All right. I'll switch over to time lapse. Well, let's see, actually first I'll do this side and then give you before and after. And then I'll switch to time lapse. And go ahead and get this finished. It'll probably take an hour and a half to dry. I'll eat in that interim and maybe do a few other things, try and be productive around the house, you know. All right, so here's after. Nice and sealed up, and when it sands, it'll be really pretty. All right, time for a time lapse. Nice and quick for y'all. Okie dokie, everything should be dry. So I'm gonna take my sander, clean everything up. Then all I gotta do is top it off with, all I gotta do is top it off with the foam and we'll be good. All right, now it's done. All right, so, oh, that looks good. All right, so I will say now the base of this is fully completed. Haven't tested it yet, but it should work better than the pegboard did, so, all right. For now, this thing can live outside out in the shop here. All of its other components are out here anyway. Now I can go work on the knee pads. Let's go do that. All right. So if y'all watched the video where I actually built the vaccuformer, y'all would have seen me do a few tests with it. This is what I was testing it on. This is a, as far as I can tell, this is a screen accurate Galactic Marine or Kashyyyk Scout Trooper knee pad, or knee plate. I designed and 3D printed this. So it's plastic, and then I covered it in aluminum tape to help preserve its crisp, clean, sharp corners and lines when the hot plastic from the vaccuformer is on top of it. And so I tested it, and eventually, after that video, I was able to get two blanks, two pieces successfully done. They fit over my knees, and then I took just some craft store, fabric store clips, and I ground off one end of the clip, one side of the clip, to get it to an angle, to get them to be angled to a certain, not a super exact angle, but to a state to where they would run alongside my leg, and they'd make contact with the plastic, and then I bondoed them in place with the plastic Bondo JB Weld. I don't know if it'll be permanent. I mean, everything I've seen of JB Weld so far, its plastic bonder, leads me to believe it will. If it's not permanent, it's going to be incredibly, incredibly durable and strong. If it's not permanent, I can pull obviously these things might break apart, and I'll go back to the drawing board on how to attach these parts. But anyway, so that's what y'all didn't see me do, since I never really intended for that to be a video, but I did decide I wanted to go ahead and complete these and have, another piece of my airsoft armor kit done. So what we're gonna do today, really all that I have to do is I have to paint them and I have to strap them. And so first I'm thinking I'll go ahead and strap them. Let's see, I should have a baggie right here. Yes, a bag with some wider strap, some thinner strap, and some elastic bands. These are not currently 100% movie accurate. The clips are not movie accurate, but based on my research of looking at them, I figure this is more or less how those knee pads are attached. So that's why I did it this way. In the future, I can make more screen accurate versions of this, but I don't have to be 100% screen accurate, and I'm still happy because it'll still definitely give off the Clone Trooper vibe. All right, so let's see here. What's my order of operations? Well, first it would be to clear a little bit of space. This isn't too in-depth of a project, really, but let me see. I need to have the elastic in there because I have to account for the fact that when my knee is bent, when I'm standing versus when I'm crouching or squatting, skin, muscles, everything compresses and kind of bulges out a little bit. So the knee pad is made a little bit bigger than my knee, and it can flex a little bit so that when my knee bends to a drastic angle, it should hold on to it. But so that's one thing I need, is to figure out how to incorporate the elastic band in here to allow it some flexibility, some stretch in the strap. I guess to some degree I could just have the entire thing be elastic, but that would probably, elastic wears out over time, so that might not be the smartest thing to do. But that's step one. So once I figure that out, we'll start sewing things up. Alright, so I've come up with a design and taken some measurements. It is time now to start cutting and putting pieces together. I'm excited but nervous. Sewing is not my favorite thing in the world to do. Not bad at it, it's just, it can be tricky. But I'm excited to have this finished. So let's get going. It's fun to test it like this, to put it on the ground and just let it deal with the pressure of me sitting on it. But anyway, I think I should make that shorter. Alright, so at this stage, you saw me sew the thing together, and then I kind of stopped, and it looked like I went back and undid it. That is true. This length of elastic is the appropriate length, but when I sewed the other components onto there, even though I sewed it in a manner that allowed the elastic to be completely free and stretch and move, it was creating too much resistance for it to stretch, even though they weren't attached to each other. And it was meaning when I tried to flex my knee and bend my knee, it just wasn't, it wasn't giving as much as easily as I want it to, and I don't want to put undue stress on this. I know Bondo's strong, but I really don't want to push the limits of it if I can help it. So for now, it looks like we're just gonna go with a elastic band, elastic strap. And you know, if we have to modify it later, we have to modify it later, but admittedly, this takes all of about 5 minutes to put together, so that's, you know, not too much of an investment of anything. But all right, so I'm gonna make the second one, and well, wait, I do have to make the second one. I want to first, I'm gonna first see about putting a little padding in here, just a little bit. Hard armor needs padding behind it to help absorb, you know, energy that passes through the armor. And also, since these are knee pads and potentially this could end up on the ground with my knee in the ground, I want padding behind it. Not a ton, but enough just to create a barrier. And it'll also help hold it a little bit in place on my knee. It already sits on my knee. With this length of strap, it sits pretty ideally. It doesn't seem to want to move. But once I get running and moving, it started to drop. It started to drop a little bit from just doing that. So movement will change things. Movement and activity will change it, and will move its positioning. So I'm gonna go ahead and see about putting some open cell foam on the inside of here. Then once I have the first one pretty much fully done and have confirmed that yes, it works, I like it, it's good, then we'll do the second one. All right, get some foam. Alright, so I just realized I did some stuff off camera, but I did go ahead and get the padding attached. All I did was cut some 1-inch strips of open cell foam, and cut them to, you know, certain thickness, thinner on the bottom, thicker on the top, to help keep it on top of my knee. This is relatively rudimentary. All I did after that was take some spray glue and you know, put it on there, let it sit for about an hour, which is what it told me to do. I don't know how strong it is. I don't know how durable it is. But as I said, right now I am low on funds and supplies. But this piece of armor, these knees, are realistically one of the cheapest and quickest things for me to produce and reproduce and remake and redo. So I have other ideas of ways I could make better attachment systems, but I want to see how well this does. I've never really played with spray adhesive. So I've got this one, the padding is attached. Second one's over there with the padding. I'm letting the padding sit. That should be ready in about an hour. I'm just gonna double check on it, make sure it's all pretty and good. Yep, looking good. But I've taped up the ends of the clips, and now all I'm going to do is toss on a glove and get this thing painted. So let me rig up a little system to do this. Another reason I want a Lazy Susan so bad is for little things like this, but in the interim I will make do. So let me prep up and get this one finished. All right, so the piece is now painted and drying. I'm only just doing basic green for the knees. because the multicam is a pretty labor intensive and lengthy process, regardless of the fact that I get really good results from it. But so my kit's gonna be a mix of multicam and just solid green. But once this is done drying, I'll be able to show off in it. The other one will only take about an hour to finish the glue setting up. And then I'll paint it off camera and we'll be done. Yay, little project finished. Another piece of the airsoft armor complete. Oh, all right, on to the next thing. All right, well, they are done. I wouldn't say these things are perfect, but they turned out really good, especially for a prototype. For a prototype, they pretty much are perfect. Some improvements to be made here and there, but I'd say this is the first thing I now feel comfortable producing quickly and in mass. Strap works. The padding doesn't look perfectly gorgeous, beautiful, but luckily when it's on, you can't see that. You can't see the padding, it's hidden. But seems like it's keeping it in place. The thickness of the pants as well is helping with that, keeping it snug in place, but we'll see how that holds up. If I need to update it, change it in the future, honestly, it doesn't seem like that hard. It'll be that hard. I've got some ideas already. But there we are, piece of armor finished for my airsoft kit. I know in those photos they look a little funny on me, the finished photos. They look a little strange on me without anything else on as far as armor goes. So to that point, I've been thinking about it. Don't have everything I need for this right now, but I have these. These are the very first armor smithing project I ever did. They're a pair of steel greaves, 16 gauge, which is 1/16 of an inch thick, which is much more than it sounds when you're talking strength. Way more than enough for airsoft. So what I'm going to do, these things, I made them, they're my first project ever, my first metal smithing project, but they're not the most functional. They're not something I can really use with medieval armor, not without refining them. And I actually now, since I made these, I've actually got a pair of much nicer medieval greaves, like way nicer, that when I do armored fighting for HEMA, I will use those because they are way nicer. So that leaves these guys kind of open for whatever. And I realized, well, why don't I take these? I have enough material here to cut them down and turn them into Scout Trooper greaves, Scout Trooper legs, or Galactic Marine legs. They wear the same. So that's what I'm going to do. In an upcoming project, I'm going to pattern them, cut off all the extra, re-separate the front and back, and basically I'll basically join them together. Not with welding, but there's some other techniques that I have available to me at my disposal that can achieve that goal. So that is a fun upcoming project. I came to a decision not too long ago that if I wait to get out onto the airsoft field after all of my equipment is ready, I'm never going to get out there. So I've decided I'm going to kind of do what Din Djarin did in the first few episodes of Mandalorian. It was obvious that his armor had been piecemealed together, kind of one piece at a time, and he was upgrading them as he could. And so that's what I'm going to do. I've got, let's see, I've got my lower arms, my gloves, my shoulders. I've now got my knees. I need to work on my shoes. I need to do my greaves, my lower legs. I'll need to do my elbows. And then I need to do my groin, butt plate, and chest piece and back piece. But that's going to be, and then a belt, which I know what I'm going to do for the belt. So I am now working towards getting just those pieces completed. And, you know, I've already got some of them complete anyway. And then I'm going to get out onto the field. Not all the pieces are going to be perfect, but that's okay. I just want to get out on the field. I'm itching to play. In regards to my helmet, weighing in on that, I've made a decision. I'm going to close up these gaps along the side. I know how I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close up the gaps on the top here above the ear holes. Then I'm going to go ahead and get this thing painted, and I'm going to leave the inside unfinished for now, and just like Dinjarin, I will upgrade it when I can. But I've already tested it a little bit, wearing it, doing strenuous activities that get me hot and sweaty. I'm going to get a treadmill and really do that, but I've decided I'm not going to wait for all my armor to be perfect and completely ready. I'm just going to get some of the things, some basic components done, enough for me to have the basic look I want on the airsoft field. The helmet, at least outside, will be done. And then we're just going to get out there because I'm ready to do it. I'm excited. I'm antsy. So, full steam ahead on that. Nice to now have another piece of armor completed for that, but hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I know I missed some things on actually getting the video since I wasn't planning on this project turning into one anyway, but figured I'd give y'all something to watch because I know it's been a minute since I put something up. Trust me, I am working on so many things right now, trying to get videos out. I really am trying to get my commission helmet done. I want to get this out to the person who ordered it because he's been so patient with me, and it's just I've been basically re-engineering it and reworking it. So I'm trying to work on that, working on the large vaccuformer. I could go on forever. I am working on stuff. Y'all just be patient. You know, hope y'all are enjoying all this. But anyway, like, subscribe, share, comment. Yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Hope to see you again. See you next time.